at Baltimore Knife and Sword here in historic Marriottsville. We primarily manufacture swords for Renaissance festivals and for theaters. I'm the owner here along with my brother. I've been doing this pretty much all of my life. So in the mid to late 80s, I left my last job and have been full-time making swords basically all of my life.
I've been making swords, armor, and all kinds of things here at Baltimore Knife and Sword for 21 years. I've been a Ravens fan for even longer. When we got this commission to make the shield, it was a no-brainer. We had to make it awesome. There's lots of different ways we could have gone with it, but the logo for the Baltimore Ravens is already a shield, so it was pretty easy designing it. The only question was how we were gonna make it. And because the Ravens have a very impenetrable defense, we figured we had to make it out of steel, heat treat it, make that shield as tough and durable as possible.
Looking at the original design, it was pretty obvious to me that the Baltimore Ravens logos have to be very prominent on the shield. So I utilized a more sophisticated technique known as fluting, meaning creasing the material. So I introduced a flute in the shape of a letter and then raised it higher and higher and higher. Now, those letters also introduce rigidity to the shield, making it even more impervious to physical damage.
So not only do we have to make the shield, we're also making a handle. Kerry's chosen to use a piece of Baltimore history, a piece of his old shop and clipper mill.
So this big bolt that used to hold a section of ironwork in the buildings at Clipper Mill that was demolished as part of that renovation. Ilya took that and forged it into the handle. Every time one of the Ravens reaches out and grabs that shield, they're grabbing a piece of Baltimore history. The coolest part of the whole process for us is kind of drawing in all the different craftsmen, but the visual certainly is the Quench. We take that shield up to about 1550 degrees, so it's glowing.
Heating up steel to red hot, approximately 1500 degrees, excites the carbon contained within. And when you quench it or plunge it into cold water, it tricks the carbon to staying in those places, giving it a very hard, rigid structure that is very desirable in a piece of armor and prevents it from deforming.
Seeing it red hot, going into the water, and then coming out after the quench is definitely the payoff. You get to see it finalized in its shape, how it's going to be.
Solid metal shields with heavy embossing, fluting, as well as sculptural work are very typical of Renaissance Italian shieldwork.
Because of the way we chose to make the shield, it's actually not all that heavy. It's very light. And since we reposed the details in it, it gave it a lot of strength, and then we heat treated it. So it actually kept the weight down a bit, but it's still very tough, very durable.
The physical properties of the shield, the size, the weight, the thickness of the material are pretty identical to the ones that would have been used when made out of steel on a medieval battlefield. The shield is very resistant to hits, smashes, and cuts.
I'm definitely proud to be a part of something where, we're going to see this iconic shield. It's going to be something that's going to be a permanent addition to the visual that people think of when they think of the Ravens. They're going to see that shield as a symbol will be very strong for the fans.